go to the Gospel of John.
scripture thing.
Go to the 13th chapter,
Click on the scripture
and let's
thing.
begin at verse 31.
Click on verse 30, double click on 31.
While you're standing for the reading of God's word and struggling to find where you need to be, I do want to give God the glory, honor, glory, it all belongs to Him. To His Son Jesus, I do recognize reverence. Also, the Holy Spirit who is yet present with us as God's help to walk alongside us and in us. To First Lady Balthazar of the house, could y'all agree with me and give God some glory for her? Now, your opinion on this matter really doesn't matter to me, but girl bad, ain't she? Yeah, I just want to see her blush, girl. Hey Jay, where Jay at? Jay, come through for me, ain't you? That's the man. If y'all need anything, just go to Jay. Hallelujah. Now, and to my associates of this gospel, and to your counterparts, husband and wives, when I say counterparts is what I mean, and to the official staff of this house, deaconess, to you who dare hold office in the body of Christ, and to you, my viewer, friends, visitors. Once again, we're in the house of the Lord. Praying that His Spirit will show up, and I'm indeed glad to testify He's already here. I'm so thankful. I started to just say, throw the guitar down and start running, but if I did that, we wouldn't be able to preach to you today. And I started contemplating that, and the Holy Spirit said, no, you're going to preach. And I said, okay, Lord, so I hold on to the guitar. We'll stick with the chord. Have a word for you today, and I'm so grateful that we have an opportunity to share it with you. If you have John 13, I want you to say amen. They should have it in. It says, therefore, when He was gone out, Jesus said, now is the Son of Man glorified, and God is glorified in Him. If God be glorified in Him, God shall also glorify Him in Himself, and shall straightway do it immediately. Glorify Him. Little children, yet a little while I am with you. You shall seek me, and as I said unto the Jews, whither I go, ye cannot come. So now I say to you a new commandment. I give unto you, that you love one another, as I have loved you, that you also love one another. By this shall all men, not just Jews but Gentiles too, by this shall all men know that you are my disciples. Now, I struggled with that because I tried to find where speaking in tongue fits in that. I struggled with that because I tried to figure out how it had anything to do with makeup and the way you wear your clothes. But He says, by this shall all men know that ye are my disciples, if ye have love. Yes, Lord. One to another. You may be seated in the presence of God. Father, I thank you now for this opportunity to preach your word. I can't do anything without you. So, Lord, I submit myself unto you. But I pray, Father, that as your word required, you said to take no thought as to what we're going to say, and that hour shall be given. Now, Lord, I depend on that. This hour belongs to you. Speak through your vessel. As I decrease, you increase. But please, Lord, bless us all, that our eyes and ears of understanding will come open, and we're able to receive what the Spirit is saying to the church. Oh, God, I do believe that if you bless today, there are some receivers. And we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Now, before I get started, I want you to just reach over to your neighbor and tell them gently, have you received your blessing yet? Somebody's been sick. You've been dealing with sickness for the longest, and God said, "Will touch you. Have you been touched yet? If not, just hold on. Don't give up on service, because God says He's the God you can't hurry. He will come. He that will come must come, and He shall not tarry." If you are a believer, you believe God's going to do that thing, and before you leave this house today, God's going to be done that thing. Amen. I touch and agree with you for your deliverance in Jesus' name. Hallelujah. I'm going to talk to you from the topic, love, the new commandment. Love, comma, the new commandment. Not love, the new commandment. Love, pause, the the new commandment. Are y'all in the house? It's important that we understand that Jesus is now making transition. He's making way for the church to be able to function without his physical presence. And it's time for us to be able to see him in the manner of the shift. Because many of us, when we see the Lord, we see him as when he first meets us. We first meet him, he's talking about us and our soul salvation. And everybody, no matter what problem that you do have, it only led you to the point of dealing with your soul salvation. Everybody in here, whether it was a car accident and he broke you down, or if your life just got so raggedy, you had to have a help in that. When the Lord helped you, he didn't exactly assist you in your situation. He just used the situation to shine light on your current state with him. And when you found out that you were short, that you were lacking, you received a greater blessing. Sometimes it's hard for us to see because it is irrelevant in these times. When you walk in your flesh, it necessarily doesn't call for any status in a spiritual state. So therefore, while I'm walking in my flesh, I'm never considering what my spiritual conduct or my spiritual status is. Only until I get in trouble in my flesh man, then I start pondering, where do I spend eternity? What do I do with me after me is over with? And most of us have not made investments in this particular part of our life, but Jesus is blessing the church. And it's amazing that how he walked with these fellas for over 3.5 years. He's gearing them up. He's getting them ready for what's about to happen. But there are some things that transist in this hour that helps the believer to understand in our transition, we too must go this way. Everybody in here has to deal with certain things in order to catapult you or to move you into the spiritual status God has called you to move in. Because the spiritual realm makes no sense to the natural realm. Paul said that they are an enmity to one another. That means when you get ready to talk to God in your natural, he does not hear those things. Only that is supernatural is what God hears. Even though he attends to the natural because he reigns on the just as well as the unjust. But the unjust do not have the credibility, durability, or the flexibility to move God in spirit. Well, let me say it again. But for those who are connected to him, the just, God is asking us to move up. You can't stay on the lower status if you've been called in the house. If you can understand that, let me see if I can get that to you by way of showing you the prodigal son story again. It is the son of the house who comes home, who thought himself by his own carnality to be no greater than a servant. Because life in the flesh whooped him down beneath who he was. I wished I had help right there. And it brought his level of thinking so low below the realm of who he is. So the father does not actually indulge in his way of thinking, though it is a way of repentance. It brought him to the lowest of lows that he might be able to see that he has some issues with his house, his own home, and his own heart. He goes back to the father, and the father says, though life have lowered you to the point of where you think lower than low, I'm still going to treat you as the status that I gave you. So while you down here thinking God is blessing up here, boy, if y'all caught that, we're going to go somewhere now. Why you down here thinking God is blessing up here? So God has to use us. He has to use things that happen to us to get us in an area. And it's mostly always where God sends you to be a blessing that attacks you. Has anybody ever been attacked by the thing God told you to bless? Has anybody ever struggled to help somebody who wouldn't lift a finger to help you? I know I'm going to hit somebody in a minute. Has anybody ever put time into somebody who wouldn't dare even think about putting time into you? And you did it not because you wanted to, not because of your drive to do it, but because of the Spirit of the Lord led you to. I wish I had something right here. Has anybody ever been led to a wilderness you didn't want to go into? I feel this thing. God has a way of allowing you to go through some things that he might be able to experience something that catapults your destiny. Nobody can get there except it be like this. Jesus set his cabinet down. He's talking to them and telling them, okay, after the Lord's Supper, Jesus said, this is what I want to do to show you the degree of love you must have for one another. he takes a towel and girds his loins, calls forth a basin, and he gets down and he washes the disciples' feet. Gets to Peter. Peter said, Lord, you should be washing my feet. He says, Peter, if I don't wash your feet, you will have no part in me. Watch that now. He says, if I don't wash your feet, you will have no part in me. In other words, what I'm saying to you, Peter, if you don't let me serve you, you will never be able to serve me. Did y'all hear what I just said? That's what Calvary was about. It is God serving you. If you don't learn how to indulge in what he has served to you, then there's no way you'll be able to serve him back. That's what's wrong with church folk now. You try to do church without sitting down first and supping. I'm going to back him out of that now. So now while Jesus is sitting with them, he's serving them. But he lets go of something that really bothered him at the time. Because he's serving at the time and age of the same way we serve. It was much easier for Jesus when he's serving people who are without and don't know who he is. When he's serving blind folk and lame folk and halt folk, it was easy for him to serve because he does not have to really worry with whether or not they are intimate with him. He just serves because that's what God sent him to do. But when he's dealing with the inner circle of the church itself, it becomes intimate to know that he's having to serve folk in order for them to be able to serve for him. And yet while he's serving, he knows he has a devil in his midst. He's got somebody that's forcing his hand of service that he knows is not going to receive it. His heart is heavy. He's troubled. He says unto the fellows, one of you are going to betray me. Peter being inquisitive about it because everybody's going, who is it? Me? Is it me? Is it I? Is it I? Is it I? And Peter is saying, well, since he asked this, I'm always outspoken. But on this one, I'm going to hush. I'm going to go over to the fellow that keeps laying his head in his bosom, who considers himself to be the one that he loves. And I'm going to ask him, who do you think he's talking about? John leans up on the breast of Jesus and he says, Master, who is it? He said, it will be the same as who would sup with me as I sup. As he got ready to sup, here comes Judas. Dips behind Jesus, and Jesus looks at him before the moment can be broken, because only John would be the one that could figure it out. But he missed it too, because he was caught up in the is it I phase. Something about guilt when it's shared from a convicted level on everybody's level. It's hard to point a finger at somebody else. That's why we must taste the cross first before you try to minister it. Because if you don't see your own self as the guilty party, you will always pass judgment without compassion. But when you know you were part of the one who hung him up on the cross, when you look at your brothers and sisters, instead of looking at them through the eyes of condemnation, you look at them with compassion. Because now you realize the only reason why you're acting like you're acting is because you just don't know how good the Lord is to us. All right, let me move on. So Judas is now dined out, and Jesus looks at him and he says, Judas, whatever thou doest, do it quickly. Judas leaves the presence of the Lord, seeking to do what he thought was right in his own eyes. And therefore, John said when he was gone out, there was something Jesus had to share intimately that he couldn't share in front of the betrayer. But he uses the process to teach us a lesson. So my first point I want to talk to you about today is the power of betrayal. Everybody in here wants everybody to like you. Everybody in here wants to work for Christ, but you want to work at your own pace. Everybody in here wants him to slack up off of you, feel you before you feel him. And the Lord said, I want to share something with you. And in order for me to do what I needed to do, I had to go through the process of betrayal. And if I went through it, ain't nothing like having friends, partners, ride or die. Young folk, if you ain't figured it out, keep living. That's my best friend. Got you turning against your mama and daddy. Got you talking all kind of, you bite the hand that feeds you, running after somebody that don't have 2 nickels to rub together. All because that's your friend. And the Lord said, yeah, I drew you out like that because I wanted to show you what it feels like to have a friend betray you. Folks, I had more folks that call it that. To have a friend. Because he was a part of the group when he said, I'm no longer going to call you a servant. John 15. He said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call you. He didn't exclude him. He said, I'm going to call you a friend. But the one thing I want you to understand, friends, greater friend no man can have. One that will lay his life down for you. Here Jesus is having to go through the act of betrayal. He's watching now himself as he sees Judas leave the group. So in the midst of the betrayal, he now knows that the power of God toward glorification on his part can't happen until somebody cuts against the grain of the way you want it to go. Did he send somebody to just go opposite? Somebody you thought that loved you so much just went 95 south. Trying to figure out what in the world's going on. And you know it. They don't even know they're betraying you, but you know it. Sitting there going, why in the world do I have to go through this like this? And God has said, no. In order for this to happen, in order for me to get you in a singular one-on-one relationship with me, I got to call stuff around you. Oh, I wish I had some help right here. I got to have folk that you are so indebted to. People that have got your mind, won't let you come to me. I got to isolate. I'm coming to that. I got to break you to a point. And the only way I can do it is I got to make the ones whom you love over me. I gotta make the ones who you give all your time to, all of your precious, oh, I wish I had something right here. I gotta make them turn their back on you in order for you to understand it was always just me and you from the beginning. And you kept trying to bring everybody else to the party. But I've been trying to tell you, I have to make stuff turn its back on you to bring you to me. He said, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And Jesus knew, watch this now, God knew that Jesus could never be crucified for being wrong. Had to be somebody on the inside. Had to be somebody in the entourage. One of your ride or dies, your dog, your partner, whatever you call it. Had to be somebody that knew you better than you, who could also turn against you and change the atmosphere of what's going on in your life. Anybody got any enemies that used to be your best friend? Your used to be best friend enemies? See, I could have got more amens than that if you'd been honest. Yeah, you got a lot of those best friend turned enemies because they put their hands on something. Anyway, Jesus had to go, but God used the power of betrayal to help him. After Jesus had washed this rascal's feet, after he showed him an association of brotherhood, camaraderie, he shows him the love toward a brother and a sister as he's been teaching to love. He does the love act first, shares him communion, lets him be in the most intimate part of what's going on. He turns around and tells him afterwards, one of y'all gonna mess me up. It's amazing how folks that sit in your entourage, sit close to you, never had a heart for you, pull you into intimate settings with them, but never really had a heart for you. And God said the only way I could grow you up, the only way I could get you to be mano a mano, I had to show you folk that didn't mean you no good, that you put a lot of weight on. So touch your neighbor and say, stop putting weight on folks you ain't supposed to put it on. I'm your pastor, that's all. I'm not your Lord, I'm not your Savior, I'm not your guide, I'm just your pastor. I wish I had more help right there. I can't change your oil. I'm not your mechanic, I'm your pastor. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? So you can't start putting stuff on me that is not of my capability of doing, because then you start trusting in something that may turn on you. Some of you, that Judas, that betrayal may be your job. Yes, the power of betrayal, because that job took you away from church. Can I talk to you? That job took you away from giving God your full. And God said, what I have to do is make that thing turn against you. I had to make it. Jesus said this is what had to happen. I knew I was going to be betrayed, but I knew that the betrayal was going to bring me into my glorification. You don't know who you are until you've been tried. That's all I'm saying to you. God said if I would have made so-and-so who you don't know talk about you, you wouldn't have a problem with that. He said, but I had to make somebody close to you. Somebody that tugged on a heartstring. Somebody that you love so dear. Told you everything but a child of God. To let you know that you were never supposed to put your trust in a man. Your trust should have already... Touch your neighbor, say your church is supposed to be in God. Jesus did not trust in Judas. But what he is showing us is that his hour of glorification came not at the hands of a miracle. It didn't come at the hands of a good sermon. It didn't come as a good reprimandic act unto him. It came at the cost of betrayal. You sitting here looking at me now, got betrayed to be where you at. It was good when you kept picking the ones who knew how to keep their mouth closed. Now all of a sudden you got a hold of this one that can't keep her mouth shut. Now everywhere you go, everybody's talking about what y'all doing. And you didn't realize you were sleeping with the enemy. Wondering who was telling your business. And your business was in the bedroom between you two. Yeah, I just thought I might come down your street and miss what you read where you at, since you're looking at me funny. It is the power of betrayal. It is the enemy saying, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn your world upside down. So that not only the world sees you through betrayal, but God will see you through betrayal. It took betrayal to get God, to put God's attention on you. So what's that happen? Jesus begins to talk about my second point. He said I was isolated for authentication. So he isolates to authenticate. Jesus said this is what happened. Now that I know that the betrayer is gone, I'm going to take the rest of you and tell you something that's so vital that you need to understand. Now is the Son of Man glorified. See, to glorify someone is to take them, raise them up to the center of attention. In other words, you thought I was looking pretty good when I was walking in the prophetic realm. I was healing people and delivering people, but that had already been done. So I can't receive the glory for that when Elijah already had that glory. But wish I had some help here. But when the Son of Man is glorified, only the Father will be able to, not because somebody else has done it and I'm repeating what they have done, but there's something that's about to take place in his life that can only happen when his church turns its back on him. And that means now it's just been him and God. So he tells the church, I love you. But there's some things you need to understand. God is isolating me. So he says the Son of Man is glorified. When he's glorified, God is glorified in him. This is what I like about that. He sees betrayal not as a way or means of getting him back, getting back at the enemy. He sees it as a platform that the enemy is set up unknowingly to the power that lies in him. He also sees it as an opportunity to glorify God. Ooh, help me, Holy Ghost. Have you ever considered taking what you have been through as an opportunity give God glory. Now I know we have taken time in those incidents to try to find camaraderie, because we all want somebody to help bear or feel the infirmities in which we go through. But have you ever considered that what you are going through is not just where you're going to, it's what you're going through, so that while you are going through it, that God will be glorified by isolating you and letting you see when you come out on the other side that if it had not been for the Lord who was on the well, why you didn't trust in your friends? Because he made my friends betray me. Why you didn't trust in your job? Because he made my job betray me. But though the job was slaying me, though my friends were slaying me, yet will I trust in the Lord. And instead of falling out, I said, God be glorified. I wish I had some help here. You may be broke, busted, and disgusted, but God is going to take your broken, busted, disgusted self and glorify his kingdom, because he wants them to say, how could you be that broke and yet be so rich? He wants them to say, how could you be so low but yet walk so high? I wish I had somebody here touching them and saying, my misery is his ministry. I didn't go through that for nothing. I didn't go through that for nothing. But before I seek my glory, I will wait and see how to glorify God in what I'm going through. Touch your neighbor and say, now trouble means something different. Trouble used to be I couldn't stand to see it coming, but when I see it coming, I see it as an opportunity. When I see betrayal, what I see is a weeding process. God didn't folk up around me that didn't need to be around me. That's why he called you out. That's why he made you do it. He knew I didn't have sense enough to walk off and leave you. So he made you do what you did so that I could give God glory and heal all. So Jesus said he isolated me for authentication. Because I've been telling you what I've been sent to do. Told you that the Son of Man would be handed into the hands of men. Told you that they were going to have him and they were going to have their way. Told you that they were going to wound him and beat him, but I told you also that on 3 days later that he was going to rise up again. I told you that. But the hour that was not yet then has now come. And in order to get this thing started, somebody has got to betray you. There is a ministry in you. There is purpose in you. There is destiny in you. And it can't come out unless it's sprout. And God said you're hanging around too many folk that won't let you grow because you are too concerned about what they think, about what God is saying in you. And God is saying, what I got to do is that I will make them same folk that you are holding on to neglect me, betray you. If your mama ever let you down, you know mama don't ever let nobody down. If your mama ever let you down, she can't get in the way. That's why Jesus said, when I come to set you advance. Daughters against mothers, sons against fathers, mother-in-laws against daughters. I come to set advance because anything or anybody that stands in between what God has for me, God will use them to motivate me to get away or get further. I love that. That's why God is always moving folks out of your life and moving folks into your life. You can't keep sitting there taking count of who's in or who's out. What you got to learn how to do is just say, God, as long as you're in the midst. Because I know all this is doing is just authenticating my discipleship. I didn't really know if I wanted to follow. I wasn't trying to follow with all heart. But soon as I went through this, as soon as I come out of this, he taught me how to take my trust off of that person. He taught me how to take my trust out of that person. And I learned how to lean on Jesus. When I learned how to lean on, guess what, baby? That's when it doesn't make no difference come hell or high water. I realize now all I got to do is keep my faith in thee. As long as I do that, people will come and people will neighbor said, that's what he was doing. That's what he was doing. Some people will hinder you even in your praise. You sitting here, you want to glorify God, but you sitting beside somebody that's not sure. You got a perfect praise in you that's being held down by not sure. Touch your neighbor and say, you need to move away from not sure. You got to learn how to open up your heart, so that, because when you open up your heart, your spirit will open up. And when your spirit opens up, that's when a true praise comes out. You just can't praise him off of your lips. You praise him off of your lips just to get it started. Sometimes your own flesh will betray you. You know you're supposed to be praising God, but you're letting your emotions tie you down. It's got you all caught up. Now you're hurting yourself, and God is trying to be glorified in you. How does he get glory? He says, well, Balthazar, can you praise me when all the chips are down? Can you praise me when everybody's looking at you funny? Can you praise me when everybody looks like they don't like you? So that you can understand the thing you were hanging on, hinting your hat on, was only betraying you. So that when you give me glory, it'll be real glory. So that when I'm glorified, I can reverberate the glory that you give to me back down to you. So Jesus said, if I go through this, then everything that I tell you will authenticate what I've been saying. Are y'all catching this? My last point, I get out of your way. He says, well, since you understand this, isolation for authenticate, to be authenticated, I need you to understand, here is nothing but the mind of David. In Psalms 27, that's all that is. When you see him say the Lord is the strength of him. Oh, y'all hear what I'm saying? Here is David saying, even though a host of my enemies shall encamp about me. They go. Why is that? Because I found out before I started that the Lord is the strength of my life. Are y'all hear what I'm saying? But sometimes I need enemies to help regulate that in my mind. Because when my enemies, especially my foes, those that are close to me, start coming against me, it lets me know I've been leaning in the wrong areas. And when I begin to lean on the Lord and find out it really was about just me and him, I wish I had him right here. I love the fact, watch this, if you get a bunch of people together who have a personal relationship with God, then you would have a lot of accountability in the house. Let's let Little Lester get that out. And when accountability comes, watch this. Those of us who now are in relationship with him, the accountability of our relationship with him keeps our hand to the plow. Did y'all hear what I just said? If your accountability are to people, then when they get crazy, but I wish I had some help here. Let me say that again. If your accountability is to people, when they get crazy, David said, I found out something. If I say the Lord is my strength, then I got to back up what I say. Jesus said, this is what authenticates you. It ain't just that you're going to have enemies. Yeah, you're going to have enemies. And when they encamped about you, when you can't see nowhere to go, you got to have a trust that is above all that you see. I wish I had some help here. And here Jesus knows after betrayal that he's going to get isolated, because now the church is not going to know how to ride with him. But it proves that when he goes through what he's about to go through and come out the other side, he is now authentic. I wish I had more amens right there. For you to really, truly be the Christian you say you are, it's the dirt you get yourself into. For those of you who want to know, y'all better be glad that I understand grace, so I don't be throwing low at your ratchet selves. Because if I were throwing low, I'd be bringing up all the stuff you doing, how you laying and playing and straying, but I ain't got time for that. If I could pull one or two of you into relationship the Holy Spirit will come over you and you will stop laying and playing, because the more laying and playing you do, the more it costs you. I wish I had some folk in here to know. Somebody that's your paycheck already bound down. You can't even buy a piece of light bread for somebody putting something out of your check. I ain't talking about fickle. I ain't talking about, I wish I had some help here. God has said, if I can get you in a place, if I can isolate you, because you got to have an isolated praise. You got to have an isolated worship. Your worship can't be built off on whether or not somebody else does it. You got to know who you are, whose you are. And Jesus said, here's what my Father is going to be glorified. Now that I had somebody who would show up and dine me out, I'm going to use that as a motivation to prove to you who God says I am. I know you can't see me. I know you don't understand what I said to you. But when this enemy, when this devil has already done dined me out, what I'm going to do, instead of calling up, cuddling up, falling into my selfish way, instead of getting into my emotions, instead of falling out about all of this stuff I'm going through, I'm going to show you, baby, when I start going through, because you know how folk is, when people start going through, we love to watch that. You got all kind of folk love to make money off of other folk going through. You start going through, you become the topic of conversation. Everybody want to know, oh yeah, what's wrong with so and so and so? Well, that wouldn't be happening if they wouldn't have did this. Everybody loves to throw their 2 cents in. But the catch here, God is saying the reason why it's like that is not that so they talk to you or about you. He says, what I've done is set the table. I have put everything right in front of you and right in front of God. And what I need them to understand, no matter how jacked up you are, no matter how messed up the situation is, if you learn to trust in me, if you learn to glorify me while you're in that moment, if I am glorified, then you're going to be glorified. God said, I'll prepare a table in the presence of thy enemies. I wish I had 2 folk that know how to keep up with me. He says, I'm going to do it, but in order to do it, I got to isolate you. And the way I'm going to isolate you is betrayal. I wish I had some folk that know what betrayal is. If you've been betrayed before, somebody you thought that was going to be with you. I'm talking, had you spending all that money, putting in all that time, then married somebody else, and you done put all of that investment in it. You got them kids, and you putting all of that money, them saving up all of that money, trying to get them to go to school, and then they turn around and come out of high school talking about they don't want to go to college. You done saving up all that money, how all them dreams for them. You sitting there doing all of that stuff for them, and you wonder who going to betray you. I tell you who betray you. It's the folks that are closest to you. Sit right there and say, I do, I love you, and after 3 weeks, the honeymoon is gone. Now I can't touch you, can't even look at you, you don't even want to go out nowhere. I don't even understand it. You used to dress up for me, you used to come up, I have all that make just look so pretty, but now when we get ready to go somewhere, you throw them hair rollers on, start rolling out there. Now everybody asking me, do I got a new woman? No, it's the same woman. She just left her ways. Touch your neighbor and say, tighten up, tighten up, tighten up. Well, let me show you the flip side of it. Because when she could put her hair rollers on, all she was saying was, can you love me like this? I wish I had something up here. Can you love me with my sandals on? Can you love me if I wear loose clothes? Can you love me still? Touch your baby and say, I love you. Yes, I love you. I love you anyhow. I got to move. So he was isolated to be authenticated. And watch this. His authentication gave rights for validation. And his validation gave rights to delegation. I told you it's going to be kind of rough, but you can handle it. Touch your neighbor and say, I can do this. Jesus said I was validated to delegate. Y'all you missed this, you missed the whole message. He said, up until this point, when we've been talking about love, we've been talking about love from the standpoint of how Moses issued it from the law. And in that form, you forced me to talk about it how it was written. And because I have not been authenticated, I couldn't tell you what I said about it. I had to explain to you what was said about it. Boy, I wish I had somebody rolling me because it's about to get crazy in here. And God is saying to this is what Jesus is saying. It took the betrayal that I might be able to be positioned to be able to speak how I'm speaking now. And once you've seen what I went through and how God brought me through it validated me. My authentication because I went through it and I glorified God. My validation is because I made it through and God was pleased. And since God was pleased with it, he issued me the power of delegation. I wish I had some help here. So I could tell you what Moses said about it, but I'm not going to preach to you the law of Moses. What I'm going to preach to you is the law of Christ. And what is Christ saying? A new commandment. Somebody shout yes up in this place. A new commandment I give you. Touch somebody, say it's an old thing, but it's a new thing. Jesus said, if I'd have told you this straight up from the beginning, you'd have been looking at me and said, from what position are you speaking from? And I couldn't tell you that I was the Son of God. So what I have to do is let you watch me in my pain. I gotta let you watch me in my agony. I gotta let you see me when they drag me from judgment hall to judgment hall. I gotta let you see the process of the betrayal so that when I reach the other ear and God looks down when everybody else is shaking and wagging their head at Calvary's cross, God is going to look down and say, this is my beloved Son and who I'm well pleased. And I don't give a care about what you think about it, because when I come off of Calvary and I sit on high, all power in heaven and earth shall be given unto me. And when I look at you with the delegated authority to pass down my power, it'll be like I said it is. And I told you, if you want to let somebody know that you are my disciple, be called loving somebody. When your hater look at you crazy, love your hater, love your enemies. Stop running around here trying to do it in your own power, in your own might. If you just listen to the new commandment, a new commandment. What made it new? Because it was coming from the old. Watch the process now. He says, love one another as I have loved you. See, you won't know love until you've seen betrayal. Some of you too good. You too slippery. You're like eels. Every time you get ready to go through something, you're so quick to abort, you'll run. I mean, first little thing happened, you ready to kill it and go on. You ain't trying to stick through nothing. You ain't got no glue to you. That's the reason why you don't have no power or perseverance. You sit there every time something happens, you're whining and crying about it. Now God said, no, I set that up because every time you go through something, I'm only pointing you toward me. And because you're so selfish, you keep crying about what you're going through. If you stop looking at your betrayal and start looking at maybe this is what God is doing for me, that he might be able to get glory. I didn't know it. I didn't know. Listen, I wasn't intended to be where I am. I wasn't trying to come to this church. I wasn't even trying to do church. But since God made my own life betray me, I wish I had some help here. You knew you liked doing what you were doing. I was the biggest hoe I knew how to be. But until a hoe betrayed me, I wish I had some help here. I found myself in God. I thank you. Because I didn't know I was trusting in the wrong thing. But now that I see Jesus, the way I see Jesus, I'm looking at him unto the hills, if you can handle it like that, from which cometh all of my help. All of my help. I have to slow down so you can catch this one. So since Jesus said, from up to this point, all I've been doing is telling you about kingdom citizenship. I've been giving you kingdom principles. kingdom mannerisms from a kingdom perspective. What I haven't did was just outright told you what you need to do. I had to let you walk with me a little fluid, boys, so that when I start instructing you, you won't turn your back on me because you'll feel like it's so hard to do. I baited you. When I brought you out, I baited you. I made people love you when you were in your selfish area. So when you first come in, you don't understand what they did to me. Them folk did, them folk that, you couldn't see the betrayal. All you could see was how you was betrayed. You got it? And then the Lord says, okay, I'll let you have that phase. But as you grow, I want you to understand the strong bear the infirmity of them. Here Jesus could have threw himself a pity party. Because it happens twice. He shows himself strong here. I'm telling them I know what's done got set in course. You know what's coming to me. You don't even have a clue. But I will tell you this. A new commandment I'm going to give you. Because you'll never hear me the same after this. This commandment is I want you to love one another. Even after I just told you that it was a devil in your midst. Right? I ain't got to love the devil. I got to love that person. You hear what I'm saying? He had smooth transition because he didn't fight his enemy. He let the Lord fight his battles. And because he did so, he receives the power of delegation. And he delegates before the cross. And everybody in here is responsible for working under one rule. Love. Watch this, watch this. I'm not telling everybody in here that you get saved under that rule. I'm talking to my saved folk. I'm talking to my Christians that love to get in the corner and talk about each other. I'm talking to you. Yes. Leave Jesus out of it. Because he ain't no part of that. But you don't understand what they did to me. Straight up selfishness. What do you mean? You just said me. But you don't understand, Rev, how they, who's they? What you saying to me is that you're a little too scared to handle your business. So if you're a little too scared to handle your business, don't let the business handle you. So I see Jesus, watch this now, I see Jesus with the worry of crucifixion on his mind, watching the betrayal leave after he told the disciples it would be the one who stops. And they didn't catch it because they were too convicted in their heart to see it themselves. Now the time started ticking. In his head, it's about to happen. It's about to happen. So before it happens, fellas, I need y'all to come together in love. Understand this. What I'm about to do is what's going to authenticate me. It's going to glorify me, but in return, it glorifies God. And watch this. He's not going to wait. Oh, thank you, Holy Spirit. He's not going to wait 20 years to do it. Jesus said, and straightway. It's something about when you conceive in your heart and mind to do the right thing according to his righteousness. God just goes ahead and gives you the benefits. He just says, because I perceive that you do the right thing. And when this happens, he says, since this happens, let me go ahead and use the power of delegation now. Remember the 10 Commandments? Oh, that's all that and nullify. But I'm going to leave you with one thing. Love each other. Now he's talking to the saints. He's talking to the church. He ain't talking to everybody, he's talking to the church. He ain't talking to everybody, he's talking to the church. Because trust me, saints, you don't have these issues when you go out into the vineyard and love on folk. They are more lovable than church folk. You can go under a shade tree with people drinking and mention Jesus and they will talk about him drunk and be glad to talk about him. You come into the church and talk about Jesus, you got so many thousands of doctrines bouncing around everybody's head. Don't nobody know what to believe. Well, let me narrow it all down. Love you one another. Then watch this. Don't just say you love. Use my actions after betrayal to help you. Love one another as I also love. Okay, I'll do this now. How did you love me, Jesus? Because I wanted to reject you in my flesh right after he rejected me. But I kept going. I wanted to quit when Pilate looked me in my face and don't tell me he got the power. You ain't got that kind of power. I wanted to quit when I stood before Herod, who was king. And the King of Kings is looking at this mere king. Sit up there and tell him that he can do what he Jesus says, I ain't gonna send you. I wanted to quit when I pulled up that old cross. Marched up the street called Golgotha and look at folks mock me, whom I blessed. Get to a hill called Golgotha and they put nails in. The very nail I made, they drove it through my hand. Nailed me to a cross. Made of the same wood I told them to build the ark of the... They don't nail me to it. But instead of rejecting you, I took betrayal to glorify him. Because I knew what you didn't know. I knew that while I was in this form, God was shot called. I wish I had somebody hold me. He said, but after authentication came validation. And once he validated me, he put all of the delegated authority in my hand. So I'm not telling you to keep 10 commandments. I'm telling you to love one another. Watch this. Because if I love you, I ain't going to covet your wife. I wish I had something. If I love you, I'm not going to lie to you because I don't like to be lied to. I know this ain't popular preaching here. But what it is now, all of us who have come under this way, you are not under God. You are in Christ. Paul tells us in Colossians around about 3rd chapter, I think it's somewhere around the 15th, 16th verse, he says, so let the word of Christ dwell in you richly. Not the word of Yahweh, but the word of Christ. Because now he's shot called. Big Bob, you rolling with somebody that got your back. So, love becomes the new commandment. And everybody in here that's under love is responsible for walking in that manner. So I challenge you, as we get ready to hasten to a close, I challenge you to see your Savior different. And for those of you who can't see him different, betrayal will help you with it. Everybody stand on your feet. You ever have a job that betray you? Put all that time in for schooling, you get the job. Then when you get the job, you think that's going to sustain your family forever. And all of a sudden, something happens. People you thought loved you part ways. Because just as you got information in your head that the last person went obsolete on, you don't keep brushing up on you. Don't you think you'll go obsolete pretty soon? There's another young rookie coming in and take your spot. Y'all better hit that. Can't even play basketball no more. I remember I was the baddest thing on the court. Now I had to go out there and watch them little young guys play. Now all I can do is just play in my head. Anybody ever play that if I was basketball? If that would be back in the day? Because sooner or later, it will happen to you. So now I need you to understand today, this message was pointed directly at the born again. But this place and you have not given your life to Christ, you have no covering. You don't have a solution for your eternal problems. You don't have a covering, my friend. We can't just go to God without Christ. So it becometh us now to make sure that we get ourselves into the body of Christ, so that the benefits that you hear talked about all the time, they could be applicable to us. If you're here today and I'm talking to you, I want you to stretch out on your faith. I want you to leave your seat and say, you know what? I do need to give my life to the Lord. I'm not only just talking to the people that are not saved. I'm going to talk to you who's been saved for a while. And your selfishness won't let you give yourself to the Lord. God said, I've been calling for you for the longest. And I've proved what I need to prove for you over 2,000 years ago. You just won't look at it. How many people have to betray you in order for you to be able to understand? God is trying to get glory out of you. You ever notice that whenever something bad happens, people always come to you telling you how to do the right thing? That ain't what you want to hear. Oh, tell me how to do the right thing. You don't understand what just happened to me. Tell me to beat somebody up. Tell me something like that. You telling me to love folk like that. That don't make no sense. God is saying, I'm trying to get somebody out of this situation to glorify me. And since you say you are my child, it ought to be you, don't you think? So that's not an unfair gesture, especially since he did it all for us. So if it's you, I want you to come. Come quickly. Come on. If you haven't